The humble penny, more than meets the eye. It's small, it's copper-plated, and let's be honest, you probably throw it in a jar and forget about it. The penny, America's most overlooked coin. But what if I told you that this little piece of metal holds a secret? A secret that involves biogrades, international courts, and maybe even $1 quadrillion. Stay with me, folks, because things are about to get weird. We take pennies for granted. They jingle in our pockets, get lost in our couches, and occasionally hold our coffee tables hostage as we try to perfectly balance them on their edge. But beneath that unassuming exterior lies a tale of surprising complexity. The penny's journey takes us from the depths of copper mines to the sterile labs of biotech companies, with a detour through the hallowed halls of international courts. It's a journey that forces us to confront the very nature of value, and how we assign worth to even the smallest things. So buckle up, because we're about to embark on a deep dive into the world of pennies, exploring their hidden potential, and uncovering the truth behind the seemingly absurd notion of $1 quadrillion lawsuit. It's a story that will make you question everything you thought you knew about that little copper-plated afterthought in your pocket. Now, when we talk about grading pennies, we're not talking about your elementary school report card. We're talking about a whole new system of value. Imagine a world where pennies are categorized not just by their year and condition, but by their potential in 3 key areas: bio, tech, and law. Biograde pennies, for example, might contain trace amounts of a rare enzyme, making them incredibly valuable to pharmaceutical companies. Think of it like this: one man's trash is another man's miracle cure. Tech-grade pennies, on the other hand, might have unique conductive properties, making them perfect for use in advanced microchips. Suddenly, that penny you found on the sidewalk is a tiny piece of the future. And then there's the law grade. This is where things get really interesting. Law-grade pennies are those that have been involved in significant legal cases, their value tied to the precedents they helped set. It's like a historical artifact, but instead of commemorating a battle or a treaty, it represents a landmark legal decision. So you see, a penny is no longer just a penny, it's a potential goldmine, a technological marvel, or a piece of legal history, all depending on its grade. And as we'll see, this grading system has the potential to upend everything we thought we knew about money, value, and the humble penny. Let's play a little game, shall we? Imagine you have a giant pile of pennies. Not just any pile, mind you, but a pile containing 500 billion pennies. That's enough to make Scrooge McDuck blush. Now, let's say you stash this massive penny hoard away for 40 years. What happens? Well, for starters, you've got yourself one heck of a storage problem. We're talking warehouse-sized storage, folks. But let's put aside the logistics for a moment and focus on the numbers. Assuming even a modest appreciation in the value of copper and zinc, those 500 billion pennies could be worth a king's ransom after 4 decades. But here's the kicker. We're not just talking about the inherent value of the metal. Remember our bio, tech, and law grades? Over 40 years, the potential for those pennies to gain value in those categories skyrockets. That's because the fields of biotechnology, technology, and law are constantly evolving. What might seem like a mundane penny today could be a highly sought-after commodity in the future. So, our pile of 500 billion pennies isn't just a pile of metal, it's a ticking time bomb of potential value. And as the years go by, that potential only grows, turning our penny hoard into a tantalizing glimpse into a future where even the smallest things can hold immense worth. Now let's talk about Uncle Sam. You see, the US Treasury has a bit of a thing for pennies. They churn them out by the billions, and these shiny, or not so shiny coins end up circulating throughout the economy. But what if those pennies weren't just used for buying gum and paying tolls? What if they played a role in something bigger, like civil court settlements? Imagine a world where, instead of writing a check for millions or even billions of dollars, courts could order settlements to be paid out in, you guessed it, pennies. Now, before you dismiss this as utterly ridiculous, hear me out. Remember our graded pennies? Imagine a scenario where a tech giant is ordered to pay a massive settlement in tech-grade pennies, or a pharmaceutical company is slapped with a fine payable in bio-grade pennies. Suddenly, those pennies aren't just tokens of low value, they're assets with specific applications and potentially significant worth. This could revolutionize the way we think about civil settlements, turning them from simple financial transactions into something far more complex and nuanced. Of course, the logistics of transporting and storing billions of pennies would be a nightmare, but hey, where there's a will and a forklift, there's a way.